All right, hello, Cheerskevin here, and welcome back to AstroBlock. And you may notice in my inventory, I am holding some AE stuff, some applied energistic stuff. I'm very excited. So I discovered that actually it was not too difficult to find the remaining presses on Jupiter, and I got ourselves a little bit of a start. But we are not going to set up our AE system here at all. No, this is our this is our weird overworldian bunker, and great as it may be. I think we've sort of outgrown it, and it gets old. So we are actually going to move our base, and I've actually taken the liberty of doing such a thing already. You may see there's the map has expanded out a little bit. I suppose we can go ahead and zoom into here. Now this is going to mean that we'll eventually want to move a fair bit of stuff. We'll probably want to set up another chunk loader in our new base. But let me take you over there. I've been decorating. I'm excited. I had a little bit of time where my PC was on the fritz, and so I was not able to. I was relying on the internal GPU, which it's Minecraft, so you don't need a crazy high-quality graphics card to run it, but to record it, well, yes, you kind of do. And yeah, but anyway, let's find our new base. Let me take you. I'm excited to show you. Let's go ahead, hop in here. Now, this area is not mob safe, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and go down in here. And yeah, just went down one of the Astrominer's tunnels, and there we go. Now, look at this. Look at this. We are heading in. We're very excited. We're hyped. Look at that. There's a lovely little door here. And open up and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the new base. How exciting is this? The answer is very exciting. Yeah, there's not much to see here, but I'm excited with the way that this laid out. These are mostly factory blocks that are chiseled at different variants. We've got tin, we have basalt up there. Because we have an igneous extruder in the old base, so we were able to use that. And then, oh yeah, this is supposed to be shut. But look at that door. Look at that. There's a whole mod in here that just adds fancy, cool, fun doors. So we've got that. I love it. And yeah, basically I just dug out one chunk, and we've got this area here, and I was able to set up kind of just the very basics of an ME system. So we have a 1K ME storage cell, we have an energy acceptor so that we can put our flux point on it. We had, yeah, and we need to talk about this in a sec. An inscriber, which I've just been using with the manual presses to get ourselves our very basic circuits that we need for stuff. We're going to vastly improve this today, and this is here just so that we had. Well, I don't remember why I put this here, but you know, it's here. So we'll go ahead and stick with it. And then I guess, yeah, I took this off. Let me put this back on here. Generally speaking with AE, you can take what are called cable anchors and craft them around. So if I open up the storage table, yeah, so I have an example here. You can take cable anchors and wrap them around a block. I think that's not a great example, but if we put, say, like quartz glass, what that should do is provide covers so that you can basically route cables through walls and stuff and not have them look weird. Unfortunately, those do not seem to work in this mod pack, and I'm not entirely sure why. I do have a request out to the, I put a, I don't know, what's the word? Yeah, I put an issue out on the GitHub to see maybe that's something they're going to fix. In the meantime, I think we may go with, let's see, energy. Yeah, we may see if we can craft ourselves up an energy cell. We cannot. We need some. Oh, you know what? We've got. Haha. Let's do this. Let's do. I feel like I swore I did this before I started up, but I've rebooted this machine so many times. Who knows? Let's go back to the base. I do have this all linked up here, so we can get back nice and easy. Let's crush up some fluix dust, and then we can make an energy cell, because that will basically allow us a sort of a pass through, because it does not require any channels. So we'll go ahead and crush up some of that. Do I have stuff in here? Yeah, okay. I have a bunch of charged Certus quartz if we decide. Also, yeah, as far as the Certus quartz goes, this stuff does spawn as an ore in the overworld. So what I did is I went around with a digital miner, plopped it down, set it to search for only Ertis, because I couldn't figure out exactly why. Because when I tried putting in the Certus, even whether caps or no caps, it did not seem to like that. Oh, you know what? I'm going to need a couple more. All right, fair enough, because we need a fair bit of dust here. Let's go back and. You know, we have water source blocks elsewhere. Why am I doing this here? I don't know. Charged Certus quartz. Do we have redstone? We need redstone. Redstone. There we go. Thank you. Okay, charged Certus quartz. 2 of those, and 2 of those, and 2 of those. And give me some fluix. Oh, you gave me yeah, that's 4 fluix. Right, I forgot. Okay, and yeah, we'll go back to. Oh, not to new base. No. To overworld. Thank you. There we go. And by the way, this transporter is getting kind of annoying. I feel like maybe we should have 2 transporters, one for just like the quick places that we're going back and forth a lot, and another for things we're less we're less commonly visiting. But yeah, we want to. I want to basically kind of take this as the start of phase 2 of our journey here in AstroBlock, because things were starting to get a little stale. We spent an awful lot of time in here, kind of just setting up infrastructure stuff, and it was starting to get a little old. And I think part of that is that it was hard to figure out where we were going to set up our eventual base, because I mean, just yeah, it was. And particularly, like, do we go back to the asteroid dimension? Do we keep things here? Whatever. And ultimately, the radiation kind of decides that for us. It's not. I suppose I could just yeah. There we go. Okay, so now we have an energy cell. Hooray for us. And this will allow us to cable on both sides, which is great. Let me grab a wrench. Oh, man, I have too much inventory. Too much stuff in the inventory, rather. Let's see. There we go. Okay, take that off. And get rid of that. And fine, we'll go around and pick you up. Bum. Give me that. Thank you. And then I don't think we can actually place this on here, annoyingly, but we should be able to. Yeah, so that's gonna be all sorts of wrong. Let's do that, and then like this. So now we at least have a way into here. And basically, I mean, this energy cell is just a battery, which we don't really need. But hey, it lets us pass through stuff, so I'm gonna call that good. Now, if we look at the crafting terminal, we have some assorted stuff in here. So some fluix, some dust, and all of that wonderful nonsense. Now, I suppose I should say there's also, so this is only a 1K storage cell, so that's going to run out issue. That's going to run out at some point. I also, took these flux storages, and I decided to recolor our network. If you make it pure white, then it becomes entirely opaque. If I were to change the, let's see, network connect, come on, network selections, edit network. If I were to change this value to like 200, or I don't know, 50, okay, then it just doesn't take for whatever reason. Edit the network. 25, save. There we go. Yeah, now you can sort of see behind it. Well, it's not too bad here either. Interesting. But as this, if we took this one down to 25 as well, yeah, now this becomes a little more translucent. I figure actually just leaving it a pure white kind of works as a design for our base. So we'll probably just go with that. And as we get more, I'll go ahead and expand these up into the walls, and I kind of like the look. These arc lamps are amazing. They cast a crazy amount of light. And the reason that we built the base over here was, one, just to give ourselves some space to expand without running into the old base. But two, is that if we come up here, there is a singularity here. It is a gravitational anomaly. It has some mass. It has some range. It has, and we're not going to get into that today. We're not going to get into that for a while. But that is matter overdrive stuff, and basically it's a big wormhole thing that we can harness for power, and that's pretty cool. So today what I want to do is I want to try and really set up our base in all the ways that we're going to want to set up our base. So we have, let's see, one of the one of the big things that I want to get out of the way is this: if we start getting our AE unit up and running, we're going to want to, we're going to want to make sure that we are gathering these resources as efficiently as possible, because we're gonna want to get bigger hard drives. Actually, I should check. Storage cell. Are we dealing with just the? Okay, spatial storage. Right. Okay, so we're just trying to get up to 64K storage cells. That's there are some other mods that add crazy, insanely large storage cells that we don't really need. That tends to be more kitchen sinky type stuff. But wanted to make sure we didn't need to think about that. If we look at the energized smelter, I think it was the energized smelter. No. No, actually not the energized, the enrichment chamber. The enrichment chamber will actually enrich. This is the worst way to go about looking at this. No. Okay, so one, this will grow our Certus quartz seed nice and quick, which is great. But also, if we look at quartz ore, Certus quartz ore, and what we can do with it, well, we can get 2 from pulverizing it. We can, of course, smelt it up for 1. We can get 3 out of the energetic, that'll energetically infuse stuff. We can create raw ore meat in the washing factory, blah, blah, blah. The best way to do this is to put it in the enriching chamber and get ourselves 4 Certus quartz crystal. So I want to see about kind of getting our AE system auto-crafting, auto-processing to the point where we can start to improve itself. Using itself, and that basically all that we have to do is go out and gather resources. And I think I may have used up all of our Certus quartz ore. Let's see, ore. That's not good. Well, we've got a whole bunch of ores as well. It also is, let's see, there's In theory, we could also go down the route of mechanism ore processing, but because it tends not to, it only has a couple of ores. If you look at, let's see, mechanism crystals, this is the result of processing, doing to get 5 ingots from a single ore. You eventually go through this. These are the only ores for which that is effective. And I feel like we're dealing with so many other ores, it just doesn't seem like it's worth necessarily the time. Probably the more general route that's a little bit easier is for us to look at the pyro concentrator. This is the augment for the induction smelter. And this, provided with cinnabar, tends to produce consistently 4 out of things. So we'd have to provide it with cinnabar and would have to supply with blazing pyrotheum. But then we can pretty generically say any ore we want, 4 of these, generally speaking, and it's going to process a lot of stuff that way. But anyway, this is already me getting rambly. Let's, speaking of rambly, the Emmy Controller is also a thing. This is going to require palladium ingots, red gems. As we start to gather these ores, we really don't want to be spending a ton of crazy time, but here we go. Like, one of these gets us 4 palladium ingots. So that would be the best option, and that's not something we can use mechanism to get more out of. So given that we've got all of these random ores that are not mechanism compatible, better to just go down this route of trying to get the pyro concentrator. Okay, but given that the enrichment chamber is capable of processing some pretty fancy, at least capable of processing our Certus quartz, which we're going to need a lot of over the course of time, in the fullness of time, we're going to want to get this thing set up on our network with some auto processing. So let's see about doing that. I guess we'll just plop this down. Well, it needs to be next to power, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, okay. So let me go ahead and put this flux point down there. And I moved some stuff I shouldn't have moved. Shame on me. Yeah, I'll put that drive back down there. And I'll put, I mean, this is going to break. This tile's going to look wrong if we use underneath as a way to run cable. But I can't think of a great alternative. So let's grab some aluminum. Okay. There we go. That'll be the extent of it, I guess. Those, and then we'll put the enrichment chamber down here. And yeah, you can see here this grate ends, which actually that's fine. That doesn't look half bad. Let's put this back down here, and now this is powered from beneath. So cool. Throw the storage disk back in here. There we go. And cool. Now what we're gonna need to get this enrichment system up and running is we're going to need. We could do this with an interface and do auto crafting. I don't necessarily want to, though, because there's never a case where we have Certus quartz ore coming in and we want it to hang around. We want to process it, period. So we want to craft ourselves an import bus and an export bus. And I think we may actually have, so this requires a formation core and an annihilation core. And I think we may actually have those because I needed, the crafting recipe gives you 2, and I think I needed 1 in the process of creating, I don't know, the energy acceptor or something. So let's see. And of course, as we do this, we are going to run into the, we're hitting the edge of the controller limit. Well, we'll see. Let's go to the overworld real quick. We do eventually want to import all of our resources, but I want to make sure that we don't have too many things. Can I see how many items there are in here? Stacks, maximum amount. That's not. No, that's not. You? Stacks 223. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna need more than the 1K. We're gonna need a fair bit more before we completely export and demolish the system. Okay, so the import bus. Okay, we just need the sticky piston, and this one we just need the regular piston. So let's see about crafting up those pistons then. 1, 2, and can I create a sticky piston? I think yes, I can. Okay, cool. Export bus, lovely, and then an import bus. Lovely as well. And I gotta say, I love the bookmark system. It makes it so easy to, its quality of life is amazing. Also, there is an ender pouch, and I would love to automate the process of getting anti-rads and food into our ender pouch automatically so that we never have to worry about that again. That's another thing on my bucket list of things that would be cool. So then when we're out and about, we can just automatically open it up and get that thing, pull out our anti-rads and be feeling fine. Okay, so let's see, we've got some more. Let's see. So we need the import bus and the export bus on here. So let's put the import bus here. We'll put the export bus there. And I think you know what? I'm going to, speaking of food, I think I am low on food. So let me get some we've got some jerky right here. Cool. Not that it's particularly the best food or anything. It's just it's an easy one to search for because you get all of them coming up. Okay, so let's grab the cables out of here, and I think that should be just enough, I hope. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Okay, so now we have an import bus and we have an export bus. Is that backwards? It feels like it's back. No, it's correct. Okay, so this enrichment chamber should be able to accept Certus quartz. And let me just double verify that we don't have any Certus quartz left in our miner. No, we do not. Okay, let me actually ought to grab these ores and put them somewhere. Oh, fine. Let's put these ores in here for now. And then we'll go out and just harvest some Certus quartz together so that we can verify our import and export process. Okay, nothing to mine. There is nothing that matched in this area. Fair enough. Okay. Well, that's a bummer. We'll go ahead and pick you up and take our wares elsewhere. Now, we really don't get many. This is the thing. It's a pretty rare ore spawn, hence the reason to get our efficiency. Oh, right. Hello. Go. Okay, one more. Oh, 2 more. Oh, 3 more. Look at that. We're rich, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, if we were getting just a single Certus quartz for that, man, this would be a miserable process. And we don't really get any other way to get Certus quartz until we get into Void Miner tech. And I think that was gated behind traveling to all of the planets. So yeah, I have these backwards from how I want them. Yeah, we want the export bus on the top because we're exporting into this system. Put that there, and then import from here. Okay, so then we just have to configure the sides here, I guess. So yeah, input and okay. No, we don't have to configure the sides. They're already exactly how we need them. Cool. So all we should have to do then is, did I take out the? No, I guess I must not have. Okay, fair enough. Let's plop down the digital miner and grab the Certus quartz out. We're going to tell this export bus that it should export Certus quartz. Now we could get, and I think there's some sort of expansion card that lets us say, hey, you can export multiple things, which we will eventually want to do because there's some cases where the enrichment chamber is the thing that we want to be throwing stuff into. And I suppose if we wanted more than 9, we could set up 2 different export buses that all export to here. This import we don't need to configure because we want to, go ahead and take whatever it gives you, right? And hopefully that means that we should now have automatic processing of our Certus quartz. So if I put in the Certus quartz ore, we should see, yep, it got extracted from the system. The enrichment factory, or the enrichment chamber rather, is processing it. And there is the upgrade is the enrichment factory. And it's throwing that stuff, and we get 4 of those in there. And it should, yep, it's extracting. Now these, of course, are slow by default, but it is going to automatically process all of our Certus quartz, and that is fantastic news. Okay, so for the controller, which you do need if you want more than 8 channels to talk with each other. We're going to go ahead and... so I'm being wasteful here. We should get double out of here, but we're not going to get quadruple, which... oh, no, we only get 1. Oh, that is very wasteful. Shame on us. We should stop doing exactly what we're doing right now. Ah, how terrible. Yeah, we're gonna deal with it for the moment. But it does highlight, hey, it would be great to get ore quadrupling up in place because we don't want to spend a whole bunch of time sitting around mining all this stuff. That's for peasants, right? So we'll go ahead and get the 4 of these, and that should be enough materials for us to craft this stuff up. And I know that we're sort of half in one world, half in another right now because we need to upgrade our storage system, or we need more actual capacity. But we will get there very soon. So, in fact, we'll race toward that. Let's get our controller. That should be. Oh, we're missing something. What are we missing? A Flux crystal. All right, so we should be able to, and this is the magic that is the enriching factory. Even though we do have this automated, we're gonna go ahead and just throw this enrichment chamber, this in the enrichment chamber. Actually, hang on a second. No, I need to craft this to create a fluix seed, don't I? Yes, and then the fluix seed can also go in the enrichment chamber to grow it. Normally, you have to leave this in the world for like 11 billion years, and then it will eventually grow. Or there are other ways to grow it, but it takes a long time. The enrichment chamber is nice and quick. So we need some sand. Let me grab. Actually, we've got our dank null, which is great. Let's grab just 2 sand. There we go. Yep, 2 sand. We only need 1, but I've got 2 for some reason. That's fine. We'll go ahead and take these fluix seeds, throw them into here. And now these will grow up nice and quick. Of course, this is also a machine that we can upgrade, and we will at some point. But for now, we just need... This will grow up to be the pure Flux crystal. There we go. And that we just needed one of those. Cool. I think we've got to teleport back because I left the stuff in the crafter. And of course, it maintains the stuff there. So that goes there, and then the red gem goes down there. And we have an Emmy controller. Hooray for us. Oh, look, we actually get a quest for that. Lovely. Yeah, okay, so now it actually knows that we're on this path. Hooray for us. Okay, so now that is up and it is online, which is great. And yeah, we'll eventually move this and create better things. But for now, that works. That can be the brains of our system. And this basically is responsible for being the USB hub for our AE system. Okay, so let's look at what it would take to get ourselves some better storage cells. Okay, if we have this Emmy, this 1K Emmy storage component, we can combine that to make 4K, and that requires magnesium. Okay, magnesium is on Saturn. Okay, so we can't even get to the 4K. Okay, so they are gating us pretty hard here. Until we get to Saturn, we cannot get 4K stuff, and that means that's going to be an issue for auto crafting. And okay, fair enough, touche. They have thought about this, so we can't go crazy with A just yet. We can craft more of the 1K storage components, and create those things up. And that'll be nice and great. I want to see about crafting up a crafting unit just to automate some of this. Let me think. All right, I'm just plopping down the pulverizer temporarily. It will not go here, but we need some crushed Certus quartz so that we can grow those into pure Certus quartzes, so we can get more space up in here. All right, so combine these with sand, and we get Certus quartz seeds. So we'll go ahead and throw those seeds in there, and those will grow into pure Certus quartz. And of course, we need that to get us to here. We need 4 of those, and then we need palladium, which is that's Jupiter ingots. So yeah, we're gonna even to get a couple of these, we're gonna need a fair bit of palladium. I really feel like we should work on ore quadrupling, because yeah, that's otherwise we're gonna have to spend, especially given how short a period of time we're actually able to spend on Jupiter, because of how crazy the radiation is there. It feels like that's something we really ought to sink our teeth into. Okay, so for the temporary moment, I'm going to try throwing the palladium into the induction smelter with cinnabar, which should, I think, get us a yield of 3, if I'm remembering correctly. And I mean, this is just to get us to a usable state. And then once we have, the AE resources, we can work on automating a proper quadruple system. We will need to auto-craft cinnabar, which requires gold and what? Sorry, not, there we go. Yeah, gold and redstone, which redstone is free, but gold is not. And then, yeah, we in addition also need the pyro concentrator add-on, which requires blazing pyrotheum, which we are producing over here. We're using it to make power, although it's in solid form. So we'll need to basically replicate this whole thing. I have some thoughts about maybe getting rid of the cactus farm, if we can get phytogrow. So we'll have to, man, there's so many cool things to try and automate our way to, but we'll have to find out if that's feasible. And yeah, manually this is a grind, the inscribers, man. So yeah, it'll be great to get that automated, but we will get there. It's just we are a little bit resource starved at the moment. So throw that in there, and now we should have the resources to make ourselves another one of these. There we go, 1 KME storage cell, and of course we just need to put that into a storage housing. Well, or we can craft it directly, can't we? Yeah. We need some more quartz glass. Let me see if I remember right. So quartz glass. Glass, let's see, this is, yeah, we can craft up some of that, and that's a recipe we ought to teach our crafter on the earlier side as well. And then, what are we missing on the bottom? Just iron. Okay, fair enough. I've got plenty of iron just in the other system. Iron, there we go. Have a stack of iron, enjoy, and make ourselves another 1K storage device. Okay, so this is not going to house all of our stuff yet. I wonder if I can do vanilla style automation here. If I put in, say, the silicon press. I mean, this is done. We will eventually get into proper automation here, but I wonder, can I just throw this here? No. Looks like no. I wonder, can I do it from the side maybe though? Yes, it looks like it. Okay, cool. And then hopefully will it stack in the output? Yes, okay, it will. Okay, so we can at least semi-automate that. That's not the amazing thing that we might want, but at least now we're printing a whole bunch of silicon and not having to be miserable in the process. Okay, so I've got a bunch of Certus quartz pulverizing. I've got seeds enriching into pure ones. We've got silicon going. And yeah, I think probably we just want to try and fill this thing up entirely before we work on getting exports and imports going. Although I suppose we could start to set up the infrastructure to basically migrate our migrate our base. If we look here, this right now is, what is this? This is an import cable, which we will not want. It is importing into white. Cool. Right, okay, and there are export, yeah, we can swap that out with an export cable at our leisure. Now, it's going to be slow, but that's not the end of the world. Let's see, is there? Yes, okay. So there's this one, which just exists here in the world. Wait, no, that was not my Silk Touch. Let's grab my Silk Touch one. I don't know if it matters with the Ender storage chests as opposed to regular Ender chests, but I don't want to find out and discover that I was wrong. So, yeah, we'll get that set up. Yeah, we're gonna need so much stuff. It's old memories, man. I want to see if, while we're trying to race to get more storage cells, if we could get just the very basics of a crafter in place. So we would need a molecular assembler, which is a formation core and an annihilation core. That should be doable. Those are not okay. So it's Fluix dust, some Certus quartz, logic processors. That's feasible. We would need at least one crafting unit, which is also feasible. And then we need, yeah, and then we just need an interface. Yeah, so I'm just going to take all of this charged Certus quartz, and I'm going to need some more. Let's see, yeah, you take that glass. Can I get some regular quartz, please? We do not have a ton of that. That's a bummer. We're going to have to, yeah, ores, man. But okay, toss that in there. Thank you. Toss that in there. Toss that in there. It's not going to be enough for all of them, but that's okay. Toss them again. Come on. There you go. Be with your friends. And there we go. Lots of Fluix crystals. Thank you. And actually, you know what we ought to do? Yeah, I should have thought of this earlier. We should use a storage bus instead of trying to craft everything into whole cloth already from scratch. So we could use a storage bus, and this will allow us to use external things as accessible storage, which means we could take over those RF tools stuffs and just move them in here temporarily until we can actually put stuff onto ME drives. All right, now one question that is interesting, at least to me, is could we actually throw this onto the storage scanner? My guess is going to be absolutely not. Let's see, this is 234 of 300 stacks. This is 183 of 300 stacks. Okay, so we could. I suppose we could craft 2 of the storage interfaces, and then just rely on the RF tools modular storage as our actual storage that Emmy is kind of the boss of temporarily. There we go. 2 storage buses. Amazing. So, limitless potential. Thank you. You have pretty limitless potential yourself. So let's go ahead and, let's put... I guess we can just put some of this stuff away. And hope that none of that ended up in chests over here. It doesn't hugely matter. We'll go ahead and take out this storage module. We'll take out this storage module. And yeah, there we go. That's going to go away. So this we don't have to run through the import system. Actually, we should keep the storage scanner up here for now. And let's get these set up. I guess we'll just, for now, run this like that. Ugh. Whatever, it's fine. This does not require power. We can just put this on here. Put this in here. And yeah, it now has this, whatever stuff that it had in it, now has in it. So hooray for that. Take this one and throw that down as well. And of course, these do not connect, but once we add the storage bus, they ought to. So let's put in, for example, our transporter. Oh, put that in there. Now put the transporter in there. And it should not show up in our AE system, but now it should, as soon as these have channels. They are online, so in theory, basically it should treat that as a place where it is allowed to put stuff. So if we get a transporter, there we go. We can take a transporter out. Okay, cool. So now our network... Yeah, now we're looking a lot nicer. Okay, cool. And we could still use the same storage scanner, I get. Well, we could. Basically, if we just never used an Dme Controller, we could just not use ME drives at all, and then just rely on RF tools to get stuff externally. I don't entirely remember. Oh, there you go, wireless terminal. Let's go ahead and plop this down. Let's temporarily steal this import bus. And we'll go ahead and toss that on here. I'm going to need more crystals, aren't I? Or more cables. And there we go. Now, if I throw anything in here, it gets imported into our system, which, it's probably just going to end up in these modular storage bins. Because, they're available and they're cheap for us right now. Whereas this is way more expensive and not super accessible outside of the dimension. So, at least this way, well, okay, right now this is not, actually, I guess it is linked up. There's just less that's routable on the system. Okay, well, let's, do we shut down? Is it time to shut down the base? I think it may be. Let's come over here. and we'll get rid of this. And we'll just set an export cable in its place. And that should start throwing stuff on here. So let's see, import filter, blah, blah, blah. This should, in theory, start throwing stuff on here, though I'm not confident. It's 100% confident it's going to. Yeah, I think the export is set to just whitelist only. There's not a blacklist mode, so I think this actually is not going to do anything by default. However, if we put a glowstone dust in here, now it should. Yes, okay, so it's going to start throwing glowstone dust out from the drawers into there. So I should look around and find any of the resources where we have a bunch of them. And then we'll make this export those, but otherwise the items that don't particularly stack, it doesn't make sense to bother. Okay, so while this is all going on, let's see about getting crafting. Let's see, so there we go, crafting unit, and we need to, excuse me, if we take the crafting unit, we need to combine that with a thing to make it an actual crafting storage, which is the minimum that you need to make something craftable. So we need the 1K crafting storage. Let's put that on our, right. I've got the synchronized 1K crafting storage. Let's go ahead and put that on our list. Of course, we can't craft that because we need another 1K thing here, which actually we have the ability to create. Amazing. Okay, so we now have a crafter, and that's amazing. It means we can create patterns and craft jobs and all of that wonderful stuff. But that doesn't actually help us right now because I guess we'll just plop that up there because why not? This is done. It works. We don't actually have any patterns, nor do we have. I guess, well, we need a pattern. Let's see, a pattern. Yeah, the thing. Pattern terminal. Oh, I suppose there's a pattern encoder. Oh, cool. Okay. So you can create a standalone thing that doesn't have to exist like that. Or you can just craft. Well, okay, fair enough. This panel isn't particularly expensive, so we can just go ahead and just make the pattern terminal. And then blank patterns. Oh, those aren't too bad either. In fact, let's make a blank pattern right now. We would also need, however, a molecular assembler, which requires a crafting table. So let's go ahead and craft up one of those. And molecular assembler, grab one of those. Awesome. And then that needs to be interacted with via another interface. So we need to craft up another one of those. And look at that. We actually have all the things we need to be able to craft. Yeah. Okay. So the interface we'll put there, and then we'll just put the assembler next to it, like there. Cool. And that, in theory, should mean that we're capable of doing stuff. If we put a configured pattern in there, it would work. So we just need to craft an Emmy pattern terminal. Okay, so we have a terminal, and we need to get from a terminal to a crafting terminal. We just need a crafting table for that. Fair enough. Crafting table, doable. And get me to the terminal then, the crafting terminal. And then we need to get from the crafting terminal to the pattern terminal. That just requires an engineering processor, which I think a champion slime. Lovely. There we go. Engineering processor. Yeah, the inscription is a little bit grindy, but that's okay. And there we go. Pattern terminal. Hooray. And this should allow us to learn patterns. So hooray, we are a crafting maestro. We'll throw that right there for lack of a fun alternative. And then we can get our patterns, well, the one pattern, and get it out. And I suppose one thing that we ought to teach it is how to craft more patterns. So let's go ahead and do exactly that. There we go. Well, is that the first one we should learn? Oh, that's weird. It doesn't understand the recipe here. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. It's because there's missing quartz glass. That's why. And yeah, it must just be, okay, weird. Fair enough. Okay. I'm dumb. Quartz glass is, I guess, one that we ought to teach it about as well. Okay, fair enough. Well, let's teach it about patterns then. Oh man, it's just that the recipe was empty. It was not complete. Oh man. Okay, how long was I staring at that? Who knows? Let's see now if our auto crafting works. So we'll go ahead and throw this into the interface. There we go. Now you know how to craft a pattern. And we'll see if we can actually queue that up. Okay, craft is 1, and it does have the resources, so do so. And pattern. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have begun our brief foray into auto crafting. Oh, pattern. I always do that. I shift click to throw it into there, and that's not how you do it. Let's also teach you quartz glass while we're at it, because that's going to become relevant to our interest. Let's say quartz glass. Throw that in there. We don't have we don't have all of the crushed quartz to do that. Okay. Well, in any case, we'll get back to this very soon. But we are we're halfway through. I mean, we're most of the way through migrating stuff out of our old base, which is very exciting. We'll be shutting this down, moving a lot of these materials over, trying to hopefully compress up a bunch of stuff. Like our automated power thing here, fun and fancy as it is, can be greatly simplified with something like AE. Certainly these now, I think we actually, now that we have carbon, we can get the upgradable combustion generators and reduce the number of those that we've got running. And of course, the other benefit of running this through AE is that we can siphon off materials that are kind of intermediary stuff, like gold in here, which we're going to need for other things. And certainly, getting a better version of the cactus farm would be really cool as well. But I think that is going to do it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. That is empty. That is okay. So we got a little bit of manual migration for me to do before the next episode. But yeah, we have a new base. Let me know in the comments what you think of the new base. I worked very hard on it, so say nice things. But no, we'll see as this expands, kind of how well its turn needs. I'm envisioning kind of having this wall be our AE system and having some monitoring and all of that wonderful stuff. But let me know what your thoughts are, and I will see you next time. Cheers.